since I've done it. Yeah, that creepy lady stock talks now. That's exciting. I'll mute everybody. Participants. Perfect. You are all muted, so you can curse and do whatever you want. Cool. And then I'm going to try to share my screen. Present mode. No. Okay. All right. So, like I mentioned, y'all know me. I'm Crystal. So I'm really excited. Whether you're like just got signed up yesterday, or you've kind of been doing the fitness piece for years, months, whatever, the nutrition piece, whatever it is that kind of brought you here. We all have like different avenues or different realms. So it's really exciting to kind of learn from each other. I love like sending people different directions. Like, for example, like Jax is our anatomy girl, or like Danny is our 2B mindset, or like different things like that. Just kind of what kind of fuels and fires us. Like, let's use each other's advantages instead of all like trying to be perfect at everything, because it's not possible. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Maybe screen share. One participant can share. This will just take me a second. Cool. Yeah, Tracy will be popping on as she's driving, I'm thinking. My roommate Jax is on the call and on mute, but I can hear it behind me. It's fabulous. Okay, screen sharing. Look at all this stuff. This is how my brain works, just stuff everywhere. So I think you guys can see my screen. And my head's probably popped up in this little corner. Maybe I want it a little smaller, but this is okay. And when you share your screen, you can't really see your notes, which makes it a little tricky. Okay. Taking a break. Almost there, guys. Thanks for being amazing and letting me like learn all these things. We're just gonna do it small status. Oops. Okay. Good enough. And I'll read everything, so you don't have to worry about seeing it. But literally, this is just about, so all of us on this call. And then if you haven't yet, there is a call as far as like how to become a coach sneak peek, like a little introduction into what coaching is. So like all of us. And then once you get to this video, we'll kind of have that like information in our back pocket. So I'm not really starting you guys out on like square one, you know nothing, but I'm starting you out on like square one of how to literally start treating this like a business and using it to how it works for you. So whether your ultimate goal in the end would be a full-time, like replace your current income, or whether you just really like hanging out and talking to people, and this is your accountability, whether that's for your fitness, for your nutrition, your overall well-being program. So whatever that decision is for you, know that it's exactly where you need to be, and that's perfectly fine. And just because I did something this way doesn't mean you have to do it the other way or the same way. But I'm just going to share with you as much as I can in the next like 20 to 30 minutes. I'm going to keep this like short and sweet so I don't bore anyone. And then we'll just kind of know that you don't have to recreate the wheel. Like, these are things that like my coach instilled and shared with me and so forth. And so like, I'm just here to kind of share with you like what I've picked up and learned along the way, and how to solidify and like get started on the right foot instead of doing 10 of the wrong things to get to the right, so forth, because I've probably done those 10 wrong things by now. I've been coaching for a couple years now. So I feel like I have a really good foundation for what I should be doing. And sometimes I still don't do it, but that's life. Okay, so how to get started. And if I ever like lose my brain, I'll just like take a minute. It's better than that. Otherwise I just go on a tangent. You just don't even want to know where I'm going. So getting started. Basically I just have like 7 slides in front of me. So it's going to be just kind of really specific and drilled down, but kind of the main things that I'm going to talk about is focusing on your journey, why your fitness, your health, your mindset, that is a priority. You do that, you start sharing your growth, sharing your journey, and then you invite or you share that with others. So really it's just about doing this yourself and then showing others that it is possible. It's not this huge like sales spammy thing. It's literally just like sharing what has worked for you. And all of you guys, if you're listening to this call, it means that you've already gotten some kind of a benefit. For me personally, right off the bat, it was fitness. I committed to something for 6 weeks. I had never done that before. And it was 20 minutes a day versus every like 4 days going to the gym for 4 hours, beating myself up about the fact that I have to work out every day so that I can eat all the bad foods that I was eating at the time. So we all have these different like places that we come from, and we've all like grown monumentally in ourselves. And that's just something that like I'm excited to share with other people and like my family, my friends, my siblings. Like everybody I talk to, I'm just like, you need to do this. But at the same time, I'm like, they'll figure it out when it's on their time, right? So it's kind of that balancing focus of letting everybody kind of find their journey. But at the same time, it's like, I have something amazing. Just want you to know, like, I'm not keeping it a secret, that sort of thing. So we'll kind of go through a little bit about what you need to know right away with coaching. And these aren't all things that you'll need to memorize and all of that. Know that I'm here and I'm just helping you get some direction. So choosing your program, choosing where your progress is going to be. Basically focusing on you, like I mentioned in the beginning, picking a workout program. So whether that is, and I guess I don't even have to say workout, picking a Beachbody On Demand program, because we now have the Unstressed Meditation, a 21-day meditation program. We've got, like, currently right now, I'm in the Let's Get Up dance workout, which if the dance workout would have been the new workout, that Jax is jacked up because she is a dancer. And for me, like, if my coach would have led with, oh, I have a dance program, do you want to join me? I'd have been like, actually, I go to the gym and I lift weights, and I would have felt really cool, even though I wasn't, right? So like, we're all meeting people where they are and like different programs that suit you. So for me now, 2 years into it, heck yes, I'm excited to dance. But my self-conscious self in the beginning 2 years ago would have been like, no, don't sign me up for that, so forth. So kind of picking the program that speaks to you. I love doing the newest program with my newest people because I like doing programs together and keeping everybody jacked up and excited. And then it kind of helps eliminate errors for me personally. I always have a problem reading the workout schedule. I have no idea why, but there's that. So workout, picking your program, whatever that might be, and then your personal development. So kind of picking a PD right now, if you haven't already started it, preparing yourself to commit to at least 10 minutes a day. And that could be a book if you're a reader, an audible or audiobook. It can be podcasts. Right now, I just started listening to the Model Health podcast. I kind of go in and out of that often. But as far as like books to read, especially if you're really interested in this business in general, they're not Beachbody focused, but they are just kind of networking and like self-empowerment, I guess you could say. It would be my 2 PDs would be like Get Over Your Damn Self. I love that one. It was an easy, like fast read, or Everything is Figure Outable, which that one, I feel like you can YouTube it and it's on there too, but I just rent it from the Libby like public library app. So it's free and it's amazing, absolutely amazing. So if you guys need any more recommendations or anything specific after this, or even in the chats, which I don't have the chats up, you guys, maybe it'll blink at me if there's a chat, but I'll check it at the end. So just kind of throw that up there. If you do have a PD book or something PD that you're already doing right now, throw it in the comments. I'd love to hear what you guys are up to. Pick a nutrition plan. There's 2 of them. I will say when I first started coaching, wasn't interested. I was just a pretty consistent vegetarian, didn't need any help. I like to eat really clean and then binge on like 2 tubs of ice cream in the afternoon. So I had it figured out when I started, right? So picking a nutrition program to start working through the modules, we have 2 options: portion control and 2B mindset. 2B mindset is intuitive eating, where you're looking at like the vegetable ratio on your plate and kind of focusing on the water intake, those sorts of things. Portion control is kind of that ability to use like, if you've seen the color-coded containers, they're amazing. I don't know why I fought them for so long. I don't use them like religiously every day, but I've used them for like periods of time so that I know when I pour my oatmeal, like exactly what a carb serving is, or I know that I need to get like 8 cups of vegetables a day. I need 8 servings of vegetables. It's the hardest thing ever. So if you haven't tried Power Greens yet, that's life, because that is one of my servings every day. So kind of different things like that. Group, plugging into the accountability group. I know that I've seen everybody on this call in the Beachbody On Demand group. I have not seen everybody consistently. So that's just something that we can all like inspire to, and basically realize that what you put in is what you get back. So your ability to kind of show up and even like throw love at other people. I'm kind of reading off of this, but not really. But as you do your workouts, like sharing that and like sharing little blurbs about what it meant for you that day. And you never know who else is going to relate to it. Or like when I see somebody show up with their babes, it just like reminds me like, oh my God, yes. Like, I don't know if I would have been this, I know I wouldn't have this consistent after like my postpartum, like going through that struggling time for me that just didn't just easily ebb like I thought it would. It would have been 100% different had I not been coaching and had I not had this sometimes too high expectations for myself, but at the same time, it's like if I was expecting other people to show up, I was going to show up alongside with them. And sometimes it just meant a really like haphazard 10-minute meditation as I'm like half asleep in my bed, but I was going to participate and show up and let these people know that like if I can do it, so can you. And then sharing on your social media. It used to be sharing content every day. Basically, your Instagram is, or your Facebook is like your storefront. So just kind of sharing what comes from the heart. A lot of times people lack that like courage and that excitement in sharing their struggles because I mean, we were like hardwired to hide that, like put a smile on your face. Life is great. Everything's grand. When it's like, actually it's really hard, but it's also really amazing. And it's amazing because of the hardship. So kind of sharing what is working for you, sharing those transformations, like those are huge. And they don't have to be like, I don't know if you've seen mine, like mine are side by, you have to, because I do them all the time, side by side transformations, but like, it could literally be like a meal and a meal side by side. It could be, I was thinking about this the other day. It could be like tiny, like little Crystal who all she did was drink at Country Fest in tiny little bikinis over here versus like baby in the hip, confident and confident and able in my abilities. The fact that like I'm not drinking 24 hours a day anymore and I'm still doing okay. Like I'm doing better than ever because of these. So like, just know that like, you don't have to like look at a camera head on and take a photo in a bikini to have a transformation pic. And actually, I always do recommend that you take the photo. You don't have to share it, but you will eventually because you'll want to. But take the photo, because I remember that first photo in a bikini and looking back at it, like physically there was nothing wrong. Like I'm just taking that photo and Adam's standing in front of me with a camera holding it in front of me. And I remember saying to him, why is this so uncomfortable? Why do I not want to be here? Get me out of this skin. And it was just such a moment. And this is why I have notes. So I'm going off on tangents, but I just always encourage you guys to take that before photo, even if you have no expectation to use it, because it brings out so many different emotions and feelings that are just like later on you get to look back and be like, whew. All right. So that is why. And like, it's a whole slide dedicated to you. Like that is the best part of coaching, is that it's literally just your own personal development plan tied with a compensation plan or tied with a build your friend group kind of workshop, right? Like a lot of us, me, I had like people who grew up down the street, like, oh, those are my best friends for life. When it's like, I think I posted the other day, like I'm a completely different person than I was when I was 20. So it's just kind of knowing that like you're growing and we're not all going to grow at the same pace. And that's not a problem. It's just, why lock ourselves into the people that just are geographically around us versus the people who are like spiritually lifting us up, if that makes sense. Okay, so this slide gets a little technical, so I'm just going to touch on it. Like I said, you don't have to have all of this memorized, but kind of what your goals are as you start this kind of coaching endeavor. So kind of your first major milestone or your major goal will be to help 3 people. And why is it 3 people? As you help like 3 people start their journey, it kind of builds this community around you and it instills that inspiration and shares your excitement, your high with other people. So helping 3 people, we call that SC, your success club. Once a month, you help 3 people. That initiates that kind of success club, or that that ability that your store is open and you are helping others as a coach, if that makes sense. And then I also just kind of want to circle back to the fact that being thought of or being called or feeling like a coach isn't something that just happens one day. I know a lot of times I would say like, I'm not ready, like I'm not where I want to be. This is like, how am I supposed to help other people? I can't even help myself. I mean, I'm sure like I just had a handful of mint chocolate chips earlier. Those are like my thing these days. It's like, this isn't about being perfect. This is about being honest and real with where you are and meeting other people where they're at. Because there's a reason, like I wouldn't be working with a Victoria's Secret model. We would have nothing in common. Okay. Like, and she's amazing in her own way. And she's got her own little model friends, right? and kind of so forth, if that makes sense. So I just kind of wanted to circle back to that, as far as you don't have to be at your goal, whatever, to be coached or to be shared, to like help someone else. Mm-hmm. All right. So you help 3 people. And when you help those 3 people, that basically just steps you right into becoming an Emerald coach. And becoming an Emerald coach just means that you have one coach on each leg, we call it. So it's a left and a right leg. This is your business. So like, this is Crystal. I have my business. I have a left and a right leg, and I have a coach on each side. And the reason I say coach is because you can sign up as a challenger where you don't have that coach access, or you wouldn't have access to these calls. You wouldn't have access to the team pages on Facebook, those sorts of things. And then you also wouldn't have that 25% off discount and your coach online office. So typically what I do, because it's even burned me just recently, is I typically sign everybody up as a coach, because when you sign up as a coach, it's included in your challenge pack. And that $40 fee is waived. If you sign up as a customer first, or a client, and then you want to do the coaching thing, or you order products, which typically people are going to go through more than a month of product because they're trying it out, seeing if it works for them. And then they're getting burned because they're not getting that 25% off, and they're like spending more money the next month when they could have just been saving. So kind of what I do is I set everybody up as a coach, because then if they were to ever stop any of their products, or if they were to not want to coach, then they would cancel their products and their coaching account at the same time. So I always sign everybody up as a coach. And when I say it just got burned, like, I have one of my girlfriends in Oregon who I have to send her the thing to like fill out the $40 sign up. And then she has to request a refund for that $40 because she signed up as a client, but she's loving the product. So it's just like, it's a mess. So there are people who, of course, will sign up as clients. They don't want the discount. They're not interested in it. Like, that's cool. But I just kind of always lead with that, because I'm just like, nobody doesn't want it, if that makes sense. And then, so those are kind of your first milestones. They work together, the first two. And then in the first 3 months, helping 3 people each month automatically gets you a success starter status. And that means that they're going to pay for your ticket to Summit. And Summit is it's July. It's kind of like our annual like get together. I think it's like a $300 ticket or something. And you just get together and we all just get to like be inspired. If you've ever seen the videos of us like dancing and working out in the streets of like New Orleans and stuff, that is Summit. Again, COVID, it's canceled this year. So Summit is virtual. I think I tagged some of you guys in it. Basically, since it's virtual, our team all just rented like this huge Airbnb in Phoenix that holds like 20 people. And I think there's still a couple of spots left. So if anyone's interested, you still have that opportunity, because all you have to do is help those first 3 people to be able to come to Phoenix with us. And then that would be just like, it's like $100 for your hotel stay and so forth. Okay, there's details on that. If you're interested, you let me know. But I'm probably getting long-winded, so I'm going to keep this going here. And then I just wrote diamond date. That's just to be determined. We don't care about that. You're just going to slowly just start to help your people. And then these things just start happening. And then you'll hear these different words come through, like Emerald Coach and so forth. And like, eventually you'll be piecing these together in the future and be like, oh, that makes sense. So then I'm kind of getting over to this in the next month of your business, getting acclimated to what this even means. There's trainings on top of trainings on top of training. So some of you have already gone into the Team to Rise page. There's units where you can listen to these, like, it's like 5 modules, like 3 things each, really simple and like to the point, which is so nice. And that's kind of like where you can get started training wise. But when I got started, I jumped in on the training and I just listened and like consumed. I was a good consumer of all these trainings, and it kind of crippled me because I wasn't doing the things, because the things were sharing and inviting. Honestly, I was holding back on sharing because I didn't know what it was. Like, I didn't even know what inspired me to sign up. It was kind of when I started my yoga teacher training. Like, in that moment, I had no idea why I felt that I deserved this. And I still, like, looking back, I'm just like thankful for that person. But in the beginning, it's hard to share when you're just like, can't pinpoint like what it is that I'm even looking for. And in the long run, for me, it was community. And I had no idea. It was eliminating the bullshit stressors of like, weight. I hated the fact that people cared about weight, and I am people, like, that drove me wild. Like, it's something so easy to like eventually work through that. Like, why is it something that we tie on to? But it's us as the human, and that's okay. Or financial constraints. Like, these were things that in the beginning I had no idea was what I was working through. And then as I like refined my why and why it is that I'm coaching in here, then I was kind of like, oh, it's because it pisses me off that we have to care about this stuff, but we do to get to that next point. Kind of like the bad parts of life. Like, sometimes life is hard, but it's a purpose because then you realize how amazing it is when you like get through that hard spell, hard season, if that makes sense. So in inviting, just kind of sharing what it is that's working for you and why you like it. Like, why is it that you're feeling better than ever because you're eating a more balanced like array of food on your plate? Why, why is it that you have more energy when you wake up at 6 a.m. to work out? Why are these things working for you? And then just kind of sharing that, like, this is what happened and so forth. And sometimes, like for me, I just told my mom, I was like, Mom, you're drinking these shakes that I don't know anything about anyway, so you're just going to do this with me. And what do you think? Oh, I guess I'll try, like, as long as you lead with like that honesty and that right foot forward, like why you're doing this. And then 2.5 years later, my mom finally started like her first program. Like, she's done the yoga and stuff like that, but like a first fitness program. So it's like, I'm seeing these things full circle, and it's pretty absolutely epic. All right, so kind of winding down a little bit. So I have no idea what's going on in the chat because I'm sharing my screen and trapped and all these things. But so feel free to, if you're throwing stuff in the chat, I'll circle back to that. But I just kind of want to share the last few. I'm just going to click through. Yes, the last few things here of tools for success. Some of us are trackers. There are plenty of different ways to like track and work this business, but ultimately, like I mentioned, you're connecting with people that you like feel the energy with, or you vibe with. You're sharing that experience, whether that's like your best friend or so forth. Like, you're sharing these things and why that you think they should start with you and like help support you in your journey. So for some of us, tracking is the way to go. And I will put this ginormous. And so that's why I want to share this tracker, because literally this is just for the next, seeing what happens for the next 30 days when you commit to yourself. So you can see like they're very easy marks. We're doing that 7-day challenge right now. This is more of like the 30-day like coaching challenge. You have your workouts, you plug into your nutrition, you have your group check-ins going into bot. A lot of these things we're already doing, and then your invites, and that can be whatever feels good for you. So for me, when I first started, my invites were, and it's way easy in the beginning, not way easy when you start because you haven't invited anyone. Where like sometimes I was going back and I was inviting the same person, and I'm just like, okay, love them and leave them, like share what I got and just go. So the number of invites that felt good for me in the beginning was 3 people on Instagram and 3 people on Facebook a day. That's what felt good for me. And I'm not saying that that worked for me. And if I could go back, like, yes, I would like to go faster and harder, but like, that's just kind of what worked for me in that time. And then sharing some kind of value-based post on Instagram, whether it is a recipe or whether it's, coming out of a hard season or anything that kind of helps or connects with people, letting that be like your connection piece. Because that ultimately, your Instagram posts or your Facebook posts are where you're going to find your people. The people who are liking, commenting, and like cheering you on, like your cheerleaders are your best teammates. So there's that. And then there's a whole bunch of social media training. So I'm not even going to touch on that. But know that there's a ton, and I can tag you in anything that you're struggling with or excited or interesting about, let me know. And then Instagram and Facebook stories. I've been loving this lately because everything changes. It changes so fast. So such as on social media, it used to be like, share everything, never go dark, like make sure that your storefront, your page is always open so that people can come to you when they're ready and so forth. Whereas now it's more, be intentional. So like some days you'll see that like I'm just like throwing videos up at Jonathan because those are just memories or moments in time that I want to like hold on to. But I'm trying to be more intentional and letting my social media be my business, because when I'm with other people, and it's funny, like yesterday I was at my friend Lorelai's. So what happened? Like I didn't post in my stories for 4 hours because I was just with her being. So know that you don't have to like check out and always be attached to your phone to run your business. It's about being intentional. So before I got to Lorelai's, I shared about how I had an amazing call that morning and just kind of, I packed myself a shake. Thank goodness, because I packed a shake and a banana, and Jonathan got to eat my banana because Jonathan was crying in the back seat. Fine, take my lunch. Like, so it's just kind of sharing things that like, thank goodness I had this shake because I got to share my banana. Whereas if I didn't have a shake, I'd be really upset that my only snack of the day was taken and so forth. But so it's fun that like now we get to use social media intentional, becoming a creator versus a consumer. So if you like catch yourself scrolling, those are things that you're just looking to like, you're not taking anything in as like support. Like if you stop, read, connect, like those are kind of the ways that like social media is beneficial to be used, instead of like kind of that just mindless, so forth. And I have an example here. I feel like I love examples. So this is just the tracker, and you can see they wrote their invites, numbers, and so forth in there. Ooh, these are the programs they picked. So right now I'm on Let's Get Up. There is a new program launching 645. I think I went live in the Beachbody On Demand group on it. That starts in like the middle of July already, which is wild. Currently I do portion control, but I have listened to the modules in both portion control and 2B mindset. And I learned so much from both of them, which is so interesting because I'm a nutrition nut and I didn't expect to get anything out of it. I was just like, I'm just going to listen to these so that I'm not, whatever that word is when you tell people things, but you don't actually do it. Hypocrite. I'm like, I'm just going to listen. But then I learned so much and I was like, yeah. So like, I've been trying to really get people to really take advantage of these modules because they're free. They're already in there. You paid for them. They're included in your challenge pack. So just kind of sharing that with you guys. And yeah, so then the last thing is just kind of what's next. So basically kind of writing down that list of like who you want to connect with, who you think would be your first people to help you. Think of the people who, if you were, I'm trying to think back in the day, like anytime I was going to go to a Zumba class, I would tag like my 7 people and we would all meet at a Zumba class or a soccer game, so forth, like those kind of people that were already your active buddies anyway. Thinking of those people or the people who I went to the gym with for 4 hours, those poor saps, like, man, those are kind of the ones that I was like, okay, I know that you feel me because I feel it, like so forth. So kind of what's next is connecting with those people that you want to be the first ones in your business and sharing the opportunity and that challenge pack, saving the Miracle Morning link. I know I've seen Tamika on it. Yeah, I said it right. If not, shake your head no, but I'm pretty sure I said it right. I seen her on the Miracle Mornings. Have that. It really does make you go harder when other people are there working out. I don't know how it works, but it works. And then the Miracle Morning is also a time to work your business. So if you are a morning person, there you go. If you're more of an evening person, fine. Or if you're working 3 jobs like I did when I started, like you're doing power pockets. So when you're going to the bathroom, you're talking to your 2 people, like it's just being creative in your time. And that's kind of leads into like planning your work hours. This isn't something I've gotten burned in the past where I thought I had to sit here for 8 hours and work through my business. Like, no, this is something that gets done in 1 to 3 hours a day. Like time freedom and flexibility is one of the biggest pieces that brings people to coaching. If you feel like you don't have any time, this is exactly the thing for you because it's a way that we take back our time, honestly. And then I would ask that you guys email me your emerald dates and the 3 people that you would love to start with you. And when I say emerald date, that just means like you're going to have your 2 coaches to like open up your business. And then this is when you're going to get like those team cycle bonuses. So let me know kind of what that data is. I just like to put something concrete on my calendar because it holds you accountable for it. So like, for example, I have like my 2-star diamond date as July 14th. So that just like is another rank that like I'm pushing for right now. That means that I'm going to help 2 people level up their business. And I'm like working through those right now. So yeah. And then kind of the last thing is just having fun with it. I'm going to kind of stop sharing so I can go to the chat. Yes, I see this. Having fun with it. Like, this is meant to be fun. There will be seasons of hardship, and that's like typical in any business and any job. Like letting yourself know that it's okay to take 5 steps forward and a step or 2 back. That's normal and that's fine. So I just kind of wanted to remind you guys that there's going to be seasons of hardship. Lean in on each other, lean in on me, the team. Like we're here for you, and yeah, that's what I've got for you. So I am going to look through the chats here, and you can unmute yourself if you want to say something too, and then I'm going to address that baby in the room. But let's see. I'll send the 2 book recommendations. Yeah, I'll just chat. I won't put them in the chat because we'll be gone, but I'll do a thread with those 2. And yes, I will get you guys the link to the chat. How to speak to someone who is interested in our shared post. Yeah, so like invites. So I have just like pages of like example invites. Mine like gets catered. So basically what I do is I have like a keyboard shortcut with an invite for the month, and then I'll put the keyboard shortcut in it. But then depending on who I'm talking to, I'm like editing it and changing it. So it can morph into something completely different, but I always start with like the same framework, and then it's speaking to them because like some people are going to want to join because they want consistent fitness. Some people are going to want to join because they've been doing the same workout for 3 years and nothing's changing. So kind of catering to what it is that they are needing. I really like to make it customer specific. Like it's way more about them than it is about me. So I will share that as well. And yeah, so okay, so I think I got through the questions here. Hello. She's Olivia, right?
Say hi.
Hi.
Hello. My child sounds like an elephant running upstairs.
Yeah, she just keeps running up and down.
My name is Olivia.
Olivia, huh?
These are my new friends. Jacqueline, she wants to know why you're being quiet. That's what she said. She'll be 5 in August.
Cute. Hi,